Hi everybody, welcome to my Call of Duty Modern Warfare Beginner's Quick Start Guide to playing the multiplayer. Now this video is for anybody who's new to Call of Duty or new to shooters, first-person shooters or third-person shooters, but this is a first-person shooter, or maybe you're a little bit rusty and want to get more comfortable with the game again. And the idea of this video is I'm going to show you a load of things that will get you enjoying playing the multiplayer. So without further ado, let's just go into the multiplayer. We're going to muck around with some of the settings. Now, I'm recording this on a PlayStation, so I'll be referring to the DualShock controls, but I'll try and refer to Xbox controls as well, but I might make the odd mistake, so apologies for that in advance. So the first thing we want to do is hit the options button on your DualShock, or the button with 3 lines on your Xbox controller. And let's just go through, and we're just going to look at some of the settings. So I'm an vertical look sort of guy. Now, sensitivity. If you're new to first-person shooters, right, get this down really low. Get it down low. Get it to 3 or get it to 2. All right, because I'm going to show you how to do something called censoring later on, which is how you're going to get onto targets efficiently and accurately. And one of the most common problems people have in first-person and third-person shooters is running a sensitivity that's too high, and you can't get onto targets properly, and you end up going past them far too often. So you start off with a low sensitivity, and then as you get more comfortable with the game and you start thinking, actually I can move a bit faster, you can start to move it up to 3 to 4 to 5, etc. You'll see people running 10 sensitivity and huge sensitivities. Ignore them for now. And also, big tip here, when you come to change your sensitivity, just do it a little bit at a time for a long period. So when you go up to 3 or from 3 to 4, leave it like that for several days. Alright, don't keep jumping your sensitivity up and down, because you won't be able to build up the muscle memory in your thumbs to make it accurate. So move it up to 3 or move it up to 4 and then play like that for a week and see how you get on. ADS sensitivity multiplier 1, ADS multiplier high zoom 1, so nothing's happening there. Aim response curve type. Now I found linear works for me. This means that the distance I move my joypads on my DualShock controller or my Xbox controller directly relate to the speed that my character is looking and moving around the battlefield. So I found it definitely works for me. Controller vibration disabled. Aim assist, I found focusing works very well. And everything else is probably as default. Yeah, everything's default. So general, here we go. So brightness, I have it at 53. Where it says barely visible, you want really to be able to see the MW quite well, because you want to be able to see into shadows where somebody's lying there camping. Film grain, turn it off. What else we got down here? World motion blur, turn it off. Weapon motion blur, turn it off. These are all nice things to have when you're playing the campaign, so the game looks a little bit better. But in the multiplayer, you want everything to be crisp. That's important, because you want to be able to see that little camper poking his head out of a window so that you can shoot him. This is all standard. Audio mix, I use boost high. Now, the idea with that is that it makes sounds that are higher frequency sound louder than lower frequency ones, and that seems to be working very well for footsteps, which are critical. Now, I wear headphones when I'm playing Call of Duty or any shooter, and it's very, very important. If you want to do well in Call of Duty, you need to wear headphones, because the sounds mean as much to your being able to figure out where enemies are. They mean as much as what you see on the screen and what you see on the mini-map. They are very, very important, and boost high seems to work for me. Could well change. Mass volume 100, music volume, turn it down. I'm probably going to turn it down further actually. Let's take that down to 60. Dialogue, turn that down to 60 when they're chatting away. Effects, I'll leave that where it is. That's all normal. Mute strategy, mute all but party. Again, that's very important. You don't want to hear everybody swearing at each other and shouting at each other in the lobby. So that's it for settings. And then what I would say is, if you haven't already, play the campaign. The campaign's going to get you used to the general moving around in the game. You know, how to aim down sights, how to shoot your gun, how to swap guns, what it looks like to look down a sniper rifle, what it feels like to throw a grenade, and what it feels like to call in killstreaks. So work your way through the campaign, play at least an hour of the campaign, and that will get you used to the mechanics of Call of Duty. So back in the multiplayer, Now, Call of Duty multiplayer is made up of lots of different game modes that we can play. And the most popular ones are underneath the quick play menu. But what you need to do is you need to click on the filter, and all the ones that have got orange dots on that you can select with X or A on the Xbox. X on the PlayStation, A on the Xbox. These are the games that you'll play sort of randomly as you go through. Now, Team Deathmatch is 6 versus 6, 2 teams versus each other. Cyber Attack is 6 versus 6, and you have to pick up a bomb, and then you've either got to blow up the enemy's base or you've got to kill all the enemies. But it's an interesting game mode because you get to revive people. Domination, that's where it's 6 versus 6, and there's 3 flags on the map, 3 areas where you have to capture them. And you get points by holding a flag. So the idea is there's A, B and C, and your team will win if you can keep hold of, say, B and C or B and A. You'll end up with more points than the other team. Search and Destroy is 2 versus 2, I think. And it's another... one team has to pick up a bomb, take it to an opposing enemy's base, and then arm it, and the other team have got to stop them. Headquarters is a new mode for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019, where you capture a headquarters, you capture part of the map, and then you can't spawn in again, and you've got to hold it for as long as you can. However, the game modes that you're going to be interested in are those two to start off with: Team Deathmatch and Domination. So just have those selected. Now, Ground War. This is the big one for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019. This is 32 versus 32 on huge maps. Ground War is amazing. It's absolutely fantastic. And in Ground War, it's like Domination, but instead of having 3 flags to fight over, there's 6. So it's 6 or 7 sometimes, I think. It's really, really cool. You'll get into that. Gunfight is 2 versus 2, respawn. Great fun. Maybe wait until you're a bit more used to the mechanics before you dive in. Cyber Attack we've talked about. Free for all is great fun. So that's 12 players, all against all. So you're all just trying to kill each other, and whoever gets the most points in the time limit wins. Realism is where they take all the HUD elements, all the UI elements go off the screen, and then you can create a private match. Also, within quick play, within the quick play, if you press square on PlayStation or X on the Xbox, you bring up hardcore mode. So in hardcore, when you play, lots of the UI is missing from the screen, and you kill players quicker. Alright, but stick with these. This is what we're interested in: Team Deathmatch, Domination. They're the 2 classic game modes where you'll learn the mechanics of Call of Duty and go into the more advanced modes in a bit. Now, we're not playing yet. We've still got stuff to cover. So, let's now go over levelling up. So, levelling up in Call of Duty is a little bit complicated. So the way that they make the game have legs is the fact that when you start off playing in the multiplayer, you don't have access to all the weapons, you don't have access to all the killstreaks or the field upgrades. You've got to slowly level up, and you level up by playing the game and killing players and capturing objectives. Okay, so if we go into the loadout screen, for example, when you first start playing, you won't really be able to, you can't choose anything until you get to level 4. When you get to level 4, you'll then be able to choose a certain assault rifles, and assault rifles are the good general purpose machine guns that you want to start playing with. Assault guns and SMGs. And then you'll pick a gun like the Kilo 141, but it won't have any attachments on, so this is just a basic gun like you can see there. And you'll go to the gunsmith and you'll want to put some bits on it, but you won't be able to, because you have to level up the gun as well by using it and shooting with it. And as you kill more players with it, you'll then get access to things like a sight, and a bigger magazine, and a stock, and a silencer, and a grip. Okay, and then as your character levels up, you'll then get access to more guns. But you'll end up with a situation, say, like with the M4A1, like I am here, because I'm level 21, and a gun is level 26. If I now go into the gunsmith, I can now choose to put a suppressor on it, a barrel on it. Now I can only choose 5 things: a reflex on it, and then maybe choose like a perk, so sleight of hand, where I can change weapons faster, and that's it. You can only choose 5 things to improve your magazine, and then you can kind of have a look at it. Oh, isn't that cool? So that's nice, isn't it? So that's the way leveling works for your character and your guns. Now, the other things that we can choose are your secondary weapons. So when these become available, you really want to equip something like the pillar launcher, so you can shoot down enemy UAVs, which are little aircraft that scan the battlefield, and personal radars, which do the same thing and give away your position, and you can shoot them at tanks and all that sort of stuff. Then we come on to your perks. Now again, with perks, as you level up, so as you play the game, different perks become available, and these are different abilities that your character can use. So you start off with double time, which means that you can run faster for a longer period of time. Then you can unlock EOD, which means you take less damage. Overkill, where you can carry 2 primary weapons, so you can carry an assault rifle and a sniper rifle. Scavenger, you pick up ammo as you're running along. And you can have 3 perks. Perk 2, you start off with restock, so your grenades recharge every 30 seconds. Hardline, your kill streaks are less. High alert, your vision pulses. And perk 3 is shrapnel. Or you start off with tune-up, where your field upgrades, you earn them quicker. Now, this all sounds a lot more complicated than it is, but all you do, as you're leveling up and you notice these, just pick the one that suits your play style best. And the ones that tend to be very good, let's have a look. What would I go for when I've unlocked them? I would probably go for EOD, because that prevents you getting damaged by claymores, which are those little mines that you find around the map with the lasers on. And then when it's unlocked, I would use Ghosts, so that UAVs and personal radars can't see me. And then I would probably go with Battle Hardened. Now what that means is when you get hit by a flash grenade or a stun, you don't get as affected, so you can keep fighting, effectively. But these perks are a very good thing as you're playing the game. Go on YouTube and go, right, what's the best perks for COD Warfare, Modern Warfare 2019? And these will change as the game changes. You can choose your lethal, so you can throw a frag grenade and then have your other one as a flash grenade. As you see, there's other little things that you can play around with. Ooh. Kill streaks, so this is where the fun starts. So again, as you level up, you get access to different kill streaks, and kill streaks are special weapons and things, gadgets you can call in when you've got a certain number of kills. And there's things you can call in when you've had 3 kills, things you can call in when you've had 4 kills, 5 kills, 7, right through to 15. Obviously you've got to be very good to get that high, and generally you'll probably die. So when you start off with, you only have access to the default ones, which I think are personal radar, cluster strike, and I think the chopper gunner I think you have access to. And basically, when you've killed 3 people, you can call in a row, that is, without dying, you can call in a personal radar that will show you where enemies are. If you kill 5 people, you can then use like a laser pointer to call in a cluster strike of mortars on a particular area, etc. But you'll have a go with these in the game and you kind of see what they're all about. But they can be very exciting, because say these later kill streaks like the chopper gunner, the helo, the gunship, and things like the juggernaut, you can get lots and lots of kills with those, but they're very difficult to get because you need to stay alive. Field upgrades, so every couple of minutes or so, one of these you'll be able to use it, and the basic one that you start off with is a munition box, so you get more ammunition. Stick with that one, because if you get on a long streak, so if you kill quite a few people, you're probably going to run out of ammunition, and the ability to throw down an ammo box and resupply yourself and resupply your teammates is very, very good. And there we go. Now in the armory, you may well, if you pre-ordered the game or you've done certain challenges, get certain blueprints for weapons. Now if you equip a blueprint, so if we go to edit loadout, so say we go to this one and we choose what am I doing, go to assault rifle, for example, for the M4A1, if we go to the armory, I've got the blueprint for the XRK Mark IV. So if I select that, you'll see that this gun already comes with a load of attachments. So they're very useful, those, and that's the gun that I use the most at the moment in the multiplayer. Right, so we've covered a lot of ground, and you're probably thinking, God, Rob, when are we going to actually get to to playing. Well, we are, but we're not going to be playing against real players yet. No. What I want you to do is go down to private match, and we're going to play a local game. Now, when you're new to Call of Duty or new to shooters, this is your playground. This is where you're going to become comfortable with the mechanics, where you're going to be able to run around, and you're going to be able to shoot people, and you're going to be able to change weapons and all that sort of stuff. So when you go into a real game, you're going to have much more fun, and that's what this is all about, having fun. So hit triangle on the PlayStation, Y on the Xbox, and we can create a game. Go to game setup, and we want to choose a mode. We want to choose team deathmatch, and the map we're just going to start. Where we start? That's quite a big map. Now we won't go there. That's quite a big map. We'll go with. Should we go to? We'll go to Gun Runner. All right. Now the idea is, with these practice games we're going to do, you're going to work through all the maps one by one. Maybe not all at the same time. You're going to go and play some public matches against real players, but this is how you practice it. Now, game rules we're going to leave at 10 minutes. Now, for the purposes of this video, so it doesn't go on for too long, I'm going to set the time limit for 5 minutes, because I'm going to go into a game and show you what to do. Now, bot setup, we're going to have, what should we have? Should we have 5 friendly bots? And we're going to make them dummies. We're going to make them recruits. And we're going to be up against 6 enemy bots, and again we're going to make them dummies. I'm going to select that. Let's go back. So, this is going to be cool. So, what we're going to do, we're going to go into start match. Now when we start the match, you'll see that at the top of the screen there'll be the custom weapon choices that we can have. But when you start the game, what I want you to do is I want you to use the default weapons, and I'll show you what they are. We're going to use the AK because it's really good to start off with. So we hit play, and it's going to sort it all out. Remember, this is all done locally on your PlayStation, your Xbox, and honestly, this is so good just to play this, and to be honest, you'll probably have quite a bit of fun doing this as well. And it enables you to be able to get to learn the maps, learn all the little shortcuts, and generally explore without the pressure. So what I want you to do is I want you to go down to Demolition using the AK, because you can see we've got the AK assault rifle, we've got the Peeler anti-aircraft, and we've got some nice additions. Right, okay, so there go our buddies. And just get used to moving around, aiming down sights, that sort of stuff. Now, what you do in Call of Duty when you're moving around the map, you see we've got the crosshairs in the middle. You can see them better there. Well, they're noisy buggers, these, aren't they? Let's move over here. See the crosshairs? When you run, you become less accurate. That's why the crosshairs open up. But what you want to be doing, you always want to be putting the crosshairs where you think enemies might be coming. So as I'm coming around this corner, I want to be putting the crosshairs where enemies might be. So over here there's a door there, so I want to keep those crosshairs there so that if an enemy comes, I can start firing and aiming down sights at the same time. So I can kind of go like this. Like that. And this is called centering. So as I come around this corner here, see how I'm moving the centre point to where the other door is. So if somebody were to run through this door, I would always be in the right place to start shooting at them. Shooting without aiming down sights, called shooting from the hip, like that. But at close range, it does work. So always be thinking about centering, about where could an enemy be. So where do my crosshairs need to be to see him? And you can just practice this. Now, as you're moving around the map as well, keep looking up at the mini-map in the top left-hand corner, because that shows you where your buddies are. And if any of them have got a UAV up, you can see where the enemies are. And in we go again. So all you do is you're just going to run around and you're going to have a really good exploration of this map. You're going to climb on things. You're going to get used to listening out for where enemies are. When you hear something, look up on the left hand corner of the minimap and think, is that a friendly or is it an enemy that I've seen? Right, so there's someone to my right now. Just go and kill him. Oh, there's somebody else there.
Reloading. I'm here.
So as you can see, these are recruit bots for against, but you know, when there's a few of them together, you know, they will get you. So you're just moving around. Now, next things first, we're going to look at peeking round corners. So if you come to the edge like this, if you click in with the right stick, you can peek round a corner like this. See? That's good. And remember, if we press and hold circle or B on the Xbox, you can get down and you can go prone like this. And then all you want to do now is just start running around and just start shooting players and get used to the feeling.
Halfway there. Keep fighting. Personal drone standing by. Cluster strike is
Right, now we've earned a kill streak, so we can call in a kill streak by pressing right on the D-pad.
This is the final push.
So press right. Let's call in a mortar strike. I don't know, over there.
Target marked. Send it.
Let's call in our UAV. Ran out of bullets there, didn't I? Should have reloaded. Where is everybody? Remember, double click on the left stick to do a fast run.
30 seconds. Time's up. Move. Move. Target 3-0. Personal radar. Calling to base.
Then we got double teamed by bots. So play these bots matches until you get bored with them. And as I say, move from map to map so you learn all of the maps roughly. And that'll mean when you go into proper multiplayer maps, you'll feel a lot better. So let's come out of that. Let's wait for it to finish. Here we go. So now we're back at this menu. So again, what we could do now is you go into game setup, choose a different map. When the bots start getting to a situation where they're not much of a challenge, go in and maybe decrease the number of friendly bots, increase the number of enemy bots, put the bot difficulty up higher to sort of regular, and you'll enjoy it that way. Now, when you're feeling a little bit confident and maybe you've got a bit of a run on and you're running around killing bots with no problems and you're feeling like you get to know the maps, then we can think about going back to a public match. Now, what we're going to do though is before we go into public match, I just want to show you the barracks. So in the barracks we have challenges and missions, and this is where you can earn extra XP. And if you earn extra XP, you'll level up faster, which means you get access to more guns and more kill streaks faster. So they're fun things to do. For example, at the moment, the daily challenges get 30 kills with pistols and get 10 melee kills. And then if we look at the missions, can we go into multiplayer challenges, missions? Here we go. You can select a mission to do. So, for example, in boot camp, you have to complete a public match, get 5 public match kills, call in a skill streak, get 3 kills using lethal equipment like grenades, win 1 public match, and that then gets you 2,500 XP and a blueprint for a Piercer submachine gun. So that's really cool, isn't it? Right, so I think now we're ready to take on a real match. So what we'll do, we're just going to play team deathmatch, and we're just going to say quick play, and we're just going to play. So here we go. So we're going in against real players now. This is the culmination of practicing. And this is where if you haven't muted everybody in the lobby, you'll hear everybody start to shout at each other. In we go. So we're going to be on St. Petrograd. Team deathmatch. As you get more used to Call of Duty, please don't stick with Team Deathmatch. Make sure you play Domination, because you find the objective-based game modes can be a bit more strategic and a lot less random. Because what happens in all of the game modes is that when you're fighting, you tend to spawn at the same end of the map. But then as things start to get mixed up, you spawn in different places, and you find the objective game modes where you have to capture, say, B, C and A. They're a little bit more controlled, so you can play a little bit more tactically. Now remember what we said about choosing Demolition? So go down, choose Demolition. In we go. Now, there's the teams. Press options and you can look at the map. Look, so you can see the map. So you can see the lanes. Now, remember, we're thinking about centering, and always just think about where are the enemies coming from. So they're going to be coming from down there. So I'm just looking down there, and always be thinking about, can you flank? Try not to run.
We have taken control.
Try not to run straight down the middle. And also, when you're looking at the minimap, just remember where your friends are. That's where the enemies aren't.
Enemy at the center.
Right, enemy at the centre, so there's going to be somebody over here. Right, one of my teammates died in there, so we know they're definitely in here. Friendly. Where is everybody?
With you.
The enemies have disappeared.
We have lost the lead.
So the enemies must be up, if you look at the map. Right, they've got to be up the other end of the map, because that's where the spaces are. So they're either playing very, very cagely.
Enemy personal radar overhead.
Right, so now we can get out our rocket launcher. Shoot it down.
Contact! Enemy in the hazmat building.
There we go, we got our first kill. Now just get our munition box out. There's people outside. I was probably a little bit too hasty there, running out, but I was kind of... Sometimes in Call of Duty you get a little bit kill hungry, you know? You've been a bit bored and you think, oh, I want to get a kill.
Enemy at the tram station. Command is ours. Maintain pressure. Enemy at the hazmat building. Enemy personal radar overhead.
So we can shoot this thing down if we can. Just throw a grenade. Oh, alright, we've got a C4, so you throw the C4, press the button again, and you can blow it up.
Enemies in the area. Reloading.
This is a very, very quiet game, to be honest.
Reloading.
Never run after anybody, because you never know.
Enemy at the full hole. Allied cluster strike incoming. Enemies in the area.
Now, because we're right at the other end of the map, we're going to force something called
Personal radar probe. Friendly shield turret deployed.
a spawn flip. They can't spawn here because I'm here. They're going to be spawning at the other end of the map. So I'm just going to call in my
Recon flyover.
personal radar.
Falcon 3 en route for personal radar coverage.
Quick look map on the map. So they have to be at the other end of the map now. So let's go this way.
UAV is ready for
So
fire.
hopefully you're kind of seeing where I'm centering, like trying to keep my little dot where enemies could possibly be. So that if I have to start firing, I'm immediately going to be...
This is Falcon 3-0. Personal radar depleted. Calling safe.
Whoop. Also remember, as soon as you start firing, unless you're using a suppressor, your position is given away on the minimap, and people can hear you anyway, so just bear that in mind. Now the beauty with Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019, there are loads of places where you can get into nice little situations.
Contact!
And you can lie down and just listen.
Reloading. I'm with you. Contact! Have a personal radar probe.
So we've got a radar again, so let's call that in.
Copy. Falcon
what-
3 en route for personal radar coverage. Enemies in the area!
Oh, what did I get blown up by? Rocket launcher, nice.
UAV is ready for flyover.
Right, so the UAV is very powerful because the personal radar only shows...
Enemy cluster strike.
if you hear a cluster strike, you want to get under cover. Right, there was a guy in that window, wasn't there? Now, look at the minimap, see they're all around us.
Returning to resupply.
See, yeah, I wasn't sure if I could hear that friendly.
Contact! Enemy in the hazmat building.
Sometimes it's good to look at the kill cam because you can see where you got killed from. You know, kind of the mistake you kind of made. So we're still in the lead, 54 to 49, so that's cool. We're playing nice and conservatively. We know that they seem to enjoy being in the centre using the height, so they like being in these buildings.
Personal radar overhead. Low ammo. Enemy cluster strike. Take cover.
See how he went prone there? Oh, it's very close, 59 to 58. So we need to play very conservatively now.
30 seconds. Enemy at the restaurant. We are out of time.
Right, it's all level.
We are losing ground. Enemy at the center.
61 all. Very exciting. 64, let's get the radar up.
Copy. Falcon 301 route for personal radar.
And we win. Just.
Mission accomplished. Regroup. Return to base.
Just. But that's why Call of Duty can be so exciting, because you have these close finishes. So let's see how we did. So we got 11 kills and we died 5 times with a KD of 2.2. So what we'll do, we'll just leave this lobby and we'll just kind of talk about kind of what that means. Now we've earned some XP, we'll have leveled up a little bit. So I'm just going to leave the lobby now. When you're playing, if you can just get to the end of the game and you've got the same number of kills and same number of deaths, that's really good to start off with, honestly. Don't sweat it. If you end up dying 10 times and only getting 5 kills, that's fine. And just, you'll see lots of people running around like mad people in Call of Duty. You don't need to, especially with Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019. You can play conservatively, have a good time, and get a positive KD. And remember, because it's the first to 75, I think in 6 versus 6, and the first to 110 versus 10. What matters is the gap between your kills and deaths. So for there, what was it? Did I kill 10 and I died 5 times, didn't I? Something like that. So I contributed 5 to our winning. If I'd killed 21 people but died 20 times, I'd have only contributed 1. So I'm a big believer in it's that kill gap is the most important thing. And you might only kill 5 people but not die at all, but you've still contributed 5 to winning. So don't worry about playing conservatively. Some people would call it camping, but you do want to be moving around the map and engaging people, but not in a mad way. You kind of listen, hear where people are, and then you react. And as I say, when you get to an even KD, so you kill 10, you die 10 times, you kill 5, you die 5 times, that's really good to start off with, and that's all you need to be aiming for. And if you find you're struggling, you know, you're thinking, oh god, you're not getting many kills at all and you're not enjoying it, go back into those private matches, play against some recruit bots and get used to it again. Okay, so there we go. Hopefully this beginner's quick start guide to Call of Duty Modern Warfare 29 is useful. If it has been, please put a comment down below in the comments. If you've liked it, you know, hit the like button. If you want to see more of the same, press subscribe. If you've got any questions about how to get better at Call of Duty, put them down below as well, and I can make videos all about them too. Well, thank you very much for spending this time with me. Hopefully I'll see you somewhere on the battlefields of Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Maybe we'll even be on the same team. We might be on the opposing team. Look out for Scalespeeder, and I'll see you again soon. Thank you very much.